Hey there. So I want to just talk about some sight reading using Sagreras methods or lessons 58, 59, and 60. I highly recommend you go through the Sagreras lessons on book one and just try sight reading them. They're easy and it's a good chance to practice the fundamentals and start building the habits you need to be a decent sight reader. Um, so I just sketched out here the basic harmony. Lesson 58 is just basically the 1 chord and the 5 chord in different inversions. So it looks like they're all in third inversion. And then lesson 59, there's a 5 of 2 being used here. And then the 2, and then we're back to the 1, 5, 1. And number 60, nothing major going on here harmonically, just the 1 and the 5 chord. But it's good to identify that. If you have the luxury of time with the score a little bit, just notice the harmony if you can and just see what's going on. That helps you to notice anything strange, like maybe this right here, this A flat. In C major, A flat is not a diatonic note, right? So that could just let you be aware that something is coming. And this is interesting. It gives some nice little chromatic movement. So we have A to A flat to G natural right there. So a little bit of chromaticism going on here. Oops. And nothing else major in 60. So let's go back up to 58 here. I'll sight read through that real quick just to get an idea and to see what happens. So it's in 6/8, so we should be familiar with how to count a rhythm in 6/8. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, that kind of feel. And the rhythm looks pretty stable throughout, and in terms of, it looks the same until you get to right about maybe here, changes up. So that might trick me a little bit. So just be aware of that. So I'll play it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6. 1, 2. Play the rest. 6. 5, 6. Good. So it is helps me a lot to have that habit of looking ahead as often as I can. Once you play a note, you don't need to look at it anymore. You need to start looking at the note, the next note or notes in front of it, and maybe even further if possible. So now lesson 59, 2/4, and the rhythm does slightly alter here, so just be aware of that. And also you got these bigger chords coming up, right? So we got a chord there, a chord there, or block chords, right? So block chords here and here. Those can be tricky when you're sight reading, and suddenly you have to grab a whole chord. So the idea is slow down so that you have time to prepare and kind of work out where you're going to put your fingers for that chord, or pick a note from that chord, one note or two notes from that chord, and just play those and discard the rest, right? So try that. So I'll play through it and see what happens. 2 and okay. So now I'm going to play it again, but I'm going to drop some notes out here and there just for fun and practice. It's good maybe to do it deliberately, practice dropping notes. So let's go again. That's actually more comfortable doing it like that. I don't have to really worry about too much. If I can thin out the texture in my own head when I'm looking at it and just play something just so I could keep up with the tempo. And if I can't, even dropping notes like that, if I can't do it, then I need to slow down a lot. And it's good to go really, really, really slow when you're sight reading. And if you're in a group environment, convince everybody else to go really slow. All right, so lesson number 60. Lesson 60, it's in 3/4, and we have, remember this A flat coming up. I don't want to be surprised by that. I got some repeated patterns here, some repeated little chords here. That helps because, oops, when you are sight reading and you come up with repeated notes, that's a good opportunity to stop looking at those repeated notes you don't need to. When you play the first note or the first note, whatever, and it's repeated, just look ahead of that. So when you play this one, you don't need to look at this anymore because it's the exact same, right? So you could start looking here and further if you're comfortable doing that. So it's a way to kind of get ahead of the game. When you see repeated notes, it's kind of like a gift when you're sight reading. So 3/4, I'll play it. Looking ahead. Play the rest. Looking ahead. Okay. Yeah, it makes my life a lot easier with repeated notes or patterns, because then I could kind of like forget about them. They're played already, and I know I have to play them again, or just according to whatever the rhythm is. But I don't need to worry about where my fingers are going to go because they're already there. Then I can start thinking about what's coming next. And in terms of playing musical when you're sight reading, try to do that always. It's just good practice, and it helps you to just practice that musicality, right? So on lesson 60, I wanted to just point out, when you see something like this, a little bit of chromaticism, this A flat here, we know it diatonically doesn't fit or doesn't belong in the key of C major, right? So it's a passing tone, and it's kind of like a visitor, right? So we want to treat it well. It's like a guest in our house kind of thing. So that's how I see it, and you just want to emphasize it. I was told by a teacher once, when you see something different like that in the music, to emphasize it, bring it out more. Just kind of, I think that's the reason why it's there. I know when I compose something, I'll put in notes like that don't fit, because I want them to shine or sparkle a little more. Also, another passing tone is this one. It is a diatonic note in C major, but it's not, in my opinion anyways, a part of what this chord is. This is a 5 chord. So if I play that that just sounds like 5 to 1 with an added E right there, which is just kind of in the way, right? So it's just gives us a nice little melodic line there, but it's a passing tone. So just kind of emphasize that, like if somebody's singing it. Okay, let's see. So I played these, and well, I just wanted to bring out. Oh, and again, the A flat showed up here. It's fun when I see things like that because I get to practice bringing it out in some way. It's a good habit to have. All right, well, I hope this helps. Good luck sight reading.